Alrighty, here we go. A deep dive guide on Sun Wukong. We pulled him for Soulja Boy. I'll cut to that now. So here we go, guys. We just pulled Sun Wukong for one of the viewers, Soulja Boy. We're going to use this Sun Wukong to do a full official guide and showcase, taking this brand new hero and pushing and progressing in content all across of Soulja Boy's account. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Now, what do you say we build the guy from scratch? We're going to explain the full kit, the talent, how all the Sage clones work, the skills. We'll get into Awakenings, even though this whole guide is going to be him at A0, showing that he's unbelievable at A0. I've heard some absolutely slanderous things that he needs Awakenings to be good. That is nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. He absolutely does not. This guy is a superstar. We're going to be doing a kind of live guide on Twitch right now. People will see it on YouTube as well, in which we're showcasing this on the winner of a giveaway on Soulja Boy's account. And we're going to try to push his Guild Boss 1 and his Guild Boss 2 to new heights. So let's build this guy up. Let's break him down. Sun Wukong is a definitive S+ hero in this game. I'd say the best single target fighter in this game, best single target melee unit. And he is borderline triple S. He's a phenomenal hero. Even at A0, he is a tour de effing force. He is phenomenal. So there you go. We built him up. We're cooking with skill ups as well. We'll bring him the whole way. I'll explain it all. See you in 1 second. All right, so this is a good account. We're talking over 7.5 million BP. Before we dive right in, I do want to check what his top scores are. Just under 60k on Nightmare 4 at 57.7 blood. And then for Apocalypse 2, he's at just under 90k mech fragments. So pretty comfortable on the 80k, but obviously not maxing out 120k. I'm going to promise you right now, we will break 60k on Guild Boss 1, hopefully even by a lot. And we're getting 120k. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We're doing that for Soulja Boy in this video. But to understand how we are doing that, we got to understand the monkey. I just finished skilling him up. Let me show you exactly how this kit works. I've covered him a lot, but I haven't had a clear, concise explanation in one place. That is what this is going to be. So the third basic attack summons one Sage clone. So every time he gets 3 attacks out, which does not take him long, he's your standard fighter with a 2.6 second interval. We'll do full base stats and good stuff like that in a second, but I do want to start with the talent because that is the key mechanism of his kit. Every 3, you build him with a 1.6 second interval. You're talking less than 5 seconds. Every 4.8 seconds, a new clone pops up. He can have up to 3 at a time. One important condition is they can only be summoned in his ult range. Even when he's not ulting, that's the range they can be summoned. It's a big ass range, mind my language. Don't get me wrong. It's like this compressed, condensed, hollow vortex range. However, for certain content, notably Guild Boss 2, you usually can't get him to summon 3 clones and have all 3 attacking. Of course, with certain placements and comps you can, but I think typically most people just have the 2, and the third will show up essentially just to die, which is useful, and we'll talk about that later. But for now, you just need to know he can have up to 3 at a time, and these clones are pretty nasty. So what exactly do they do? They will exist for 20 seconds, and they inherit 100% of the hero's attributes. So it's just like another Sun Wukong. Their basic attacks are going to deal 40% the damage Sun Wukong is normally doing. Without Awakenings, that's all they're doing. With Awakenings, just to hop to the A3 really quickly, they can start dealing bonus bursts of damage, and they can start landing stuns, which really is insane, and it takes him to a whole new level. But even at this basic level, just having 3 other monkeys out there slapping around with his crazy base stats and whatever build you put on him, that's a very, very good thing. If we go over here, another thing, they do take 50% more damage than he does. They get slapped around, they die, but we are going to make really good use of his exclusive artifact. We'll get more on that in a second. And you kind of don't hate if they die because he brings them back up so quickly. Remember, it's every 3 hits, another one pops up. And as I said, up to 3 can exist simultaneously. The next line, it's a whole new talent. It's a whole separate thing, all right? He gains 1 stack of Undaunted Might every 30 seconds, up to 5 stacks. So up to 2.5 minutes, 5 instances of 30 seconds, he's got the full 5 stacks, which means he has the full Power of Undaunted Might. Each stack is 1% increased damage to elites and bosses. So after 2.5 minutes, you're getting 5% boosted damage to those such enemies. It doesn't sound like much, but hey, it's something. It's a whole extra thing in his kit, a whole extra part of the talent. We like it. And again, with Awakenings, this gets even spicier. He can now get an additional 25 stacks, bringing the full stack cap of Undaunted Might from just 5 all the way up to 30. So that's pretty dang crazy. We are live on Twitch. Thank you so much for all those gifted subs, Jim. That is fantastic. And yeah, that's 30% extra damage to bosses and elites. That is dang spicy. So again, great talent, and then it can get a lot better. This one specifically, a whole nother line here, right? So this next sentence, this is a whole other talent. It's the third part of his talent, but essentially it's the third talent. If summoning a Sage clone is not possible, or there are already 3 clones, the third basic attack now will instead increase the hero's attack by 20% for 15 seconds. This is great, right? You can keep near permanent uptime on this as long as you're summoning pretty quickly. Think of it as an additional 20% post-deployment attack boost. Say that 10 times fast. It's a very, very good thing. So you can see the talent is complicated. He's not the most simple hero. He essentially is really good. He can do a little bit extra damage to bosses and elites. At A5, he goes berserk mode. And then also, he gets extra monkeys cloning around him that all the time are just whacking away alongside him. And then when they're all 3, he can get this essentially permanent 20% post-deployment attack boost. It's super strong. He's so good. Let's go to the basic now. It's as basic as it gets. The key thing here is his basic attack range is 2 tiles. This is something he has on a lot of the other new OP fighters, Kagiri, Twyla, phenomenal heroes, but their basic attack range is just the 1 tile, which kind of restricts them in a lot of content, especially Twyla, because she doesn't even grow during her ultimate. Sun Wukong kicks things off with a very desirable attack range, 2 tiles in front on the basic, and you can see with skill ups and everything we discuss in this video will be at max skill ups, 120% damage to 1 enemies, and then he's got his clones around him whacking away as well. If we go to his crazy ultimate, it's just 1 line of text, but it is so good. And that line of text is OP as heck, and that's even with the fact that I personally believe it's bugged. I am in discussions with the developers about it currently. So what am I talking about? It's a 700 ult cost, which is great, 400 initial costs, so he gets it up really quickly upon deployment, good for stuff like PvP. And you can see he deals 100% damage 18 times, so some quick math is 1800% damage, 1800% damage to 1 enemy, and he inflicts stun. It's hard to know how this reads, right? It's like he deals the damage and he inflicts stun. So he deals a lot of that damage and then there's 1 stun. Or is it each time he deals the damage, he is inflicting stun? Personally, that is how I read it, and I do think it's reinforced by the way it's written in the game. If we click on this stun, you will see it is just a 0.1 second stun, 1/10 of a second. Typically, stuns last between 1 and 3 seconds, even up to 5 seconds in this game. So doesn't it make sense that actually the intention is to have a 1.8 second stun, and it's actually 18.1 second stuns? That is how I read it. I think that's how many read it. That's what I expected in my testing. But obviously, if you've used him, that is not what is happening. It is a singular stun. I'm talking with the devs about this. I'm convinced it's a bug. There is no way they intended him to have a 0.1 second stun. Clearly, to me, it was a 1.8 second stun over 18 hits, which is way better because it's a longer stun. And very importantly, that would be 18 instances of crowd control, which means he could personally crowd control and provide everything you need for the Death Saw phase, the first phase in Guild Boss 2. So sincerely, I do think this needs to be changed. Yes, he's already strong. I don't care if it would make him stronger. That clearly is the design as it reads, and as logically it makes sense, at least to this guy. Anyway, I will keep you guys posted on that in the future, I'm sure after this video comes out, as I discuss further with the developers. Let's keep going. He's got 2 passives here. The first one is called Golden Cudgel Strike. Basic attacks have a 25% chance to deal 200% damage and inflict a stun. So here's another opportunity to get stuns. Let me show you. This stun lasts a second. You know, the way stuns do. No one in this game does a 0.1 second stun. I don't want to go on that tangent again, but you can see 25% of the time his basics will inflict a stun. That is great. It lasts for 1 second. If that enemy is stun immune, so some elites and all bosses, he will now instead deal a bonus 200% damage, so 400% total. We really, really like that. This comes into play again with his A3, but you can see even at base level, this is super, super strong. If we go over here to his second passive, Golden Glare, this ties into the first passive, Golden Cudgel Strike. When he does trigger Golden Cudgel Strike, he gains 1 stack of Sunder. What is Sunder? It's a thing he can stack up to 5 times. It's as simple as that. However, you ideally, especially for stuff like Guild Boss 2, you might want to time it out perfectly if you don't yet have multiple awakenings to guarantee this is always happening. You might want to time it out that you've triggered it at least 5 times. You have the full 5 stacks of Sunder, because when he does and you ult, it enables him to ignore 60% of the target's defense for the subsequent 15 seconds. So he's just shredding through over half the defense. This is really, really OP. He's already fantastic. This definitely takes him to another level. This is maybe the key thing, if you use it right, that makes him, I'd say, the most desirable single target fighter we've got in the game right now. The only competitor would be Valeron, but he obviously is a crazy rare, super special, chaotic, ancient, legendary lord. That's how good this guy is. He's like in this conversation with a hero like Valeron. Let's so quickly go through the awakenings. I do think a lot of people know them, but I want to introduce you to them, so let me take it through. The A1, I believe this is bugged right now too from all my testing. The first time he uses Splitting Hairs, which is his ultimate, that big, big burst, and he triggers it in a battle. Allies in a 2-tile radius around him will gain this special support effect, Monkey Business. And it reads as though it should stay on until it needs to be used. So like the whole battle until they're gonna die one time, right? There's no other way to read this. There's no time mentioned, there's no duration. It just says they get it. And what does it do? It prevents death 1 time. When the carrier takes fatal damage, it then dispels all the debuffs on them, and it restores half their health. So this is really, really good. Sometimes when I've tested it, it seems like it's working. Other times it seems like it isn't. I've tried in like super slow-mo and everything. I do believe this is bugged, and I am talking to the developers about it. His A2 is plus 300 base attack. It doesn't seem like much, but so many people don't understand that this is not some other game where like, hey, throw away awakening bonus stats. These characters are all about attack. Everything scales off of the attack. He already has a very mighty, let me show you here, nearly 6,500 base attack at 6,498. That's plenty, but it's not the end of the world to get the 300. Sure, you should not soulstone up for that reason, right? But you do get it on your way to A3 and A5, the key awakenings, and it is not negligible. Bringing this up to 2 ticks under 6,800 at 6,798 is crazy. I mean, everything's about attack. It's boosting his base attack by nearly 5%. That's truly very, very significant, especially when you're using him in late and endgame content as he is designed, where the targets will have really high defense. The more attack he has, the better he deals with that defense. Let's go to the A3. This is where he goes full overpowered mode. Sage clones can now do the thing that happens with Golden Cudgel, right? So they now have the 25% chance to inflict stun when dealing damage to the enemies. And if the enemy is susceptible to the stun, they can't deal the bonus damage at the start like Wukong does. However, if they're immune, they can deal their own version of bonus damage, this time at 150% the one time. If the hero has Golden Glare, meaning Wukong has done it himself, triggered the stun and the bonus damage, or just the even bonuser damage in the past 15 seconds, those hits from the Sage clones will also allow him to get a stack of Sunder. So once you get him A3, you don't really have to worry about timing out the ults. He almost always will have 5 stacks of Sunder. That is excellent. So it just takes, in so many ways, the A3 unlocks him to be not just fantastic, but very fantastic. The A4, your typical 8% penetration. He deals physical damage, so this means he ignores 8% of the target's defense. Combine that with when Golden Glare is happening, he's now ignoring 68% of defense. Mamma mia, cue the spicy meatballs. And finally, the A5. This is like a talent, because like this they write it like, hey, at Awakening 5, this happens. But no, it's this, and this happens. It's 3 different things once again. So what is it? Increases the damage instances of Splitting Hairs by 18 and raises Undaunted Might's stat cap by 25. Those are 2 separate things. So normally it's 18 instances of damage. This makes it 36. So 3,600% damage every time he ults. And I do believe once they fix the stun thing like they should, this should be 36 consecutive instances of stun, which should be 3.6 seconds of stunning. And again, more than enough to deal with the Death Saw. Pretty good. The Undaunted Might, 5% bonus against elites and bosses is nice, but in a nice long battle, he'll be at the max 30 stacks, which means 30% increased damage to elites and bosses. That's better. And then finally, the third and completely separate part, after he ults, the trigger chance for Golden Cudgel Strike to happen at all is increased dramatically for 12 seconds by 35%. So typically it's happening 25% of the time, 1 in 4. It goes up 35%. It's now happening 60% of the time, 3 out of 5 times on average. That's really good. This guy's kit is amazing. His skills are amazing. His awakenings are mamma mia amazing. There's a reason he's so hyped. He is that good. Okay, now I think we know this guy's kit and his awakenings really well. I think we get the idea. Time to move on to gameplay. But of course, before we can do that, we're gonna gear this guy live. So this is not something I always do, but because I'm doing this as a live showcase guide on Twitch, something I'm hoping to do more in the new year. So let me know if you do like this, whether you're watching it live or you're seeing the end result. When I do this, I can gear live as well. The simplest thing to do is start with the artifact. Why not do that? Personally, I believe by a mile, his exclusive is his best in slot, and it's not even close. So why do I say that? Well, first off, it's his exclusive for a reason. It synergizes with him perfectly. Again, it's 2 sentences. Each one is a totally unique effect. The first thing is very simple. Increases damage by 20%. This is at base promo. And that's it. It's just a damage boost. Who doesn't like that? You'll see here as you bring it to level 2 all the way up to promo 5, thing by thing by thing, as you get lucky enough to get copies, or you choose to use your mythic artifact essence on him, which honestly he's a very good candidate for because he's that good. You will see each time his damage increases by 2%. So logically 2% each time, 5 times. At max promotion plus 25, he's going to have an increase of damage by 30%. The second line, though, is why this is special. This is the thing keyed in towards Wukong. This is the exclusive part of the item. Lots of things bring increased damage. However, this exclusive specifically for him makes it so summoning a Sage Clone every time additionally will restore 6% rage. As you saw, his ult, even at A0 base awakening, is amazing, right? It's still 1800% damage with a nice stun, and it's great. You want that happening as much as possible. So this is why I was saying it's not the worst thing in the world if his clones die a lot or if they expire a lot from the 20 seconds. You kind of want to keep cycling through them. He is going to bring them up again really quick. Any normal build will have them at least as fast as 1.6 seconds per hit, if not faster, if not a lower attack interval. So that means worst case, you're still going to summon a clone once every 5 seconds because 3 hits will be 4.8 seconds at a maximum with a good build. So you just want to keep it going. You want to keep summoning. You want this guy ulting all the time. I will say if you want to take full advantage of Sunder, it becomes a little harder because you might be sitting on the ult. But quite frankly, and I was leading up to this, if you don't have an A3, for a lot of content, especially something like Guild Boss 1, you can't really pick and choose. It's not really worth waiting. For Guild Boss 2, at sometimes it is. That's why the A3 unlocks so much. You're kind of guaranteed the stacks, or most of the time you were guaranteed it. But with lesser awakenings, you can kind of just say, hey, forget it. Let's just spam that ult. Let's throw the exclusive on, and let's take great advantage of continuous summoning and continuous restoration of rage. What are the other good options now for him? Well, you might be thinking he has super high base attack. He's got really good stats. He's a top hero, so he's going to get really good gear. Wouldn't Wailing Skull be really good? For certain content, yes. But for certain content, absolutely not. Because Wailing Skull is a summon that takes up a tile. You already need 3 tiles in play to summon all 3 of his monkeys, his Sage Clones, ideally. So let me show you that ult range again. These are his options. So in total, it's this square of 4 to the right, this square of 4 to the left, 3 on top, 1 in the middle. There are 12 squares. However, you don't always have 12 spots they can go. Right? Very often these squares will be taken up by enemies. They could be taken up by a wall. Very likely they're taken up by your allies. So it's kind of premium real estate to waste that on a Wailing Skull, even though that Shadow Clone summon is so good that comes from the Wailing Skull effect. In content, like a lot of PvE stuff that is non-boss content, where you can guarantee he can get all 3 clones and get the Shadow Guard up there, that little Komodo thing that comes up. It's called the Shadow Guard, right? What's it called? Yes, the Shadow Guard. Then it's great, but for a lot of stuff like Guild Boss 2, I see it as almost impossible unless you're running Wukong alongside a very platform unit ally heavy team. So when you can make it work, this is a great choice, but be thoughtful about when you choose to use this if you don't use the exclusive. The exclusive is free in the shop. Even at base promo, it's going to be his best artifact. So most people that got Wukong will have it, but maybe you're watching this in the future and you're not lucky enough to have it. So I got to give you other options. The final two mythic ones I want to shout, because he has 2-tile range, because he has even bigger range on his ult, there's a lot of content where you can hide him and he doesn't take any damage. In that case, Frigid Flame is phenomenal. It is really, really good. And then, of course, if you're bringing an ally that can place bleed into the battle, Scarlet Hunt will be great. At max promo, it's 30% extra damage to any target under bleed. So like for me, I run Wukong alongside Twyla. That's pretty good, huh? Pretty darn good. I think we went through artifacts very well, except for one final thing, and that's actually an artifact that Soldier Boy doesn't have here. So let me go to the Forge and show you. This is a nice free-to-play option, a legendary artifact that synergizes very well with him. It's my favorite legendary artifact in the game. You probably hear me talk about it all the time. That is the Fighter legendary artifact, the Watchguard's Ambition. Each basic attack launched has a 10% chance of triggering another basic attack. Fighters are all about rage cycling. They're all about spamming basics. This makes it easier. At max promotion, this goes up to 15%. I love, love, love this artifact. And the final shout, of course, if you're just desperate for more attack, Keen Wisdom, you can never go wrong. An increase of 16% attack post-deployment as long as there's any ally within 2 tiles from where he is. You're going to run this thing at max promo, obviously. Very, very, very good. So let's gear this guy, and let's start off with absolutely what not to do. Please, all right? Infernal Roar. I've already done takeovers on accounts where people have Wukong now, and I see their Wukong is wearing Infernal Roar. I know a lot of things in this game are bugged, but this is not how it's bugged. So a lot of things that are triggered by basic attacks in this game will benefit from the boosted damage Infernal Roar has. For example, if you run him in Infernal Roar, the basic attack additional damage and then the additional damage, that will be boosted by Infernal Roar. You know what won't? Every time he does his biggest chunk of damage, his ultimate bursts. This 1800%, or if you have him A5, 3600% damage is completely untouched by Infernal Roar. Do not get greedy, take advantage of every stupid bug they have with the gear sets in this game. Infernal Roar does not work on Wukong. Do not run it on Wukong. The top 2 sets by a mile, we're talking top tier here, are going to be Soulbound Arcana, of course, and Cataclysm. I think for any normal player right now, you should absolutely be running him in Soulbound Arcana because who has a good Cataclysm set lying around? However, it's only a 5% damage difference and it's kind of a wash. Cataclysm is his best set in slot if you happen to have a great Cataclysm set and you have a beautiful piece of Nightmare or Watchguard exclusive gear, specifically the ring. It's always attack bonus main stat. You can see here's a nice Watchguard ring here. Very nice subs. However, probably not nice enough for most accounts. If you have both, like you can make a whole Cataclysm set and then you have the option Watchguard ring or Nightmare ring, please run the Nightmare ring. The Watchguard ring increases damage dealt by 8%. Obviously, heal effect has nothing to do with him. The Nightmare ring gives another 5% of the time he lands extra basic attacks, and that is a mighty thing. But for everyone else, it is Soulbound Arcana or bust. And that is what we will be gearing him in today. Before we do that gearing, let me shout out the non-tier 2 and tier 3 sets. It's just the best DPS sets always. It's going to be Night Terror and then Wisdom. When in doubt, that is what you should always do. If the hero happens to ult like all the time, you can do Wisdom. But in my opinion, Night Terror is the best tier 2 DPS set in the game. Kind of full stop. If it's a super AoE hero, Curse is nice. You know, there's other options. If it's early game and you're desperate for crit, the Insight is okay. But Night Terror and Wisdom are in a league of their own. And quite frankly, Night Terror, especially for almost every hero, unless they're ulting all the time, like Wrath with a super low 300 ult cost, it's gonna be Night Terror. So that's what you should be looking out for. You might be wondering about Ageless Wrath. It is vastly inferior to Soulbound Arcana and Cataclysm for Sun Wukong, but if you have a really good set, it is going to be better than Infernal Roar for tons of content. Let's actually gear him now. Let's buckle up. We're going to gear him first for Guild Boss 1, then for Guild Boss 2. So what makes that gearing different? Guild Boss 1 has really low base defense and base magic resistance. That's why things like magic res reduction and defense break don't have nearly the same game-changing effect on Guild Boss 1 like they do in endgame and harder content, newer content like Guild Boss 2, where it's so important to have things like that. So for that reason, yeah, if you can get like one attack bonus piece, that's cool. But if you can hunt enough attack bonus subs and especially flat attack, Soul Band Arcana is the way to go. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is a very good account as you can see, we're going to look for crit damage main stat with both attack bonus and flat attack in the subs. And right off the bat, we've got a nice one here. Unfortunately, it didn't roll too well, but we will throw that on and do a quick comparison. So let's throw that flat attack off and see. Here actually is our second best attack bonus roll, and this one is that much more superior. The rage regen is really nice here, but he's got a pretty low ult cost. He gets his rage up and running really fast, especially with this exclusive. So believe it or not, we are going to roll with this. You can see this piece, if we were to lose it for this piece, would cost us 582 attack. This has 582 attack more. We're definitely going to rock with that. Let's do the same thing now with the flat attack sub as well. That's not going to cut it without crit rate. Let's try this. This piece is pretty good. I really want that attack speed, but we'll throw it on for now. Now let's see what our options are if we go for attack bonus main stat with some crit damage. I'm just curious. Anything with a huge crit damage sub, we're happy to use. So let's see that. No thanks. Gross. Let's check that ring. Looks like we have some options, and we certainly do. This one's phenomenal, but no attack speed, but probably is kind of a wash with this one. Let's see what this looks like. This piece is beautiful. Let's throw that on. Now we know for this last piece, we need crit damage. The flat attack sub was not an option. We'll go for attack bonus and we'll just take the highest one we can get. And this is phenomenal. It even has rage regen. Amazing piece. Let's do the left side. Left side gear set recommendations are the simplest thing in this game because there's very little variety. Where the right side is about effects and damage boosts and stuff like that. The left side is all about stats. There's nothing more to it. No left side gear in this game comes with effects. They're all like plus attack or plus HP or plus attack speed. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the plus DPS stats. Obviously, the top two options by a mile are Wicked Vengeance and Warlord. Specifically for Guild Boss 1, I prefer Wicked Vengeance. Specifically for Guild Boss 2, I prefer Warlord. If you can't get those, the tier 1 sets are phenomenal as well. Calamity's great, Annihilating Might's great. We're going to start off looking for our Wicked Vengeance since this is Guild Boss 1. I'm certain when we do Guild Boss 2, I will put him in Warlord. Let's check the Wicked Vengeance now. What are we cooking with? Ideally, I want a triple, a trifecta, attack bonus, crit rate, and crit damage on the thing. We do have it, and actually these are perfect subsets, but these rolls are horrible. He did say I could do anything I want, so let's see. Maybe we're going to re-roll that. Recast it. What do we got on Elysia? This is nice, not as nice. I'd say if he has like 3 recasting hammers, I'm going to try that on that Uridin Setrum piece right now. He's got none. Let's go a little broader with our search since that was a bust. We'll do attack bonus and crit rate for the Wicked Vengeance, see what we're working with. This piece is phenomenal, and this piece is going straight on him almost certainly. Gold attack roll on attack speed, huge borderline gold roll on attack bonus, and a ton of crit. We'll click through the rest to see if I miss anything. This piece is also phenomenal. This is going to go on another hero. I'm kind of in love with that first piece, though. Let's throw that on. Now for breastplates, again, we go for the trifecta first, and this piece is amazing. Can we get greedy? Do you also have flat attack? No. So almost certainly this is going to be the best piece. It is. And look at that. We came out of this with what I can only describe as a completely and utterly glorious Guild Boss 1 build for Sun Wukong. Look at what we are cooking with here. Almost 20,000 attack, even though we went double crit damage on the right and we went Wicked Vengeance set on the left. We have a beautiful 1.4 second attack interval. That is plenty fast. That means he's getting his 3 hits off to keep triggering his talent, either summoning the clone or dealing the bonus damage every 4.2 seconds. We love it. And then finally, almost 400% crit damage. And we even picked up 22% rage regen. Thank you, Soldier Boy, for a great account. This build is incredible. So let's gear the rest of the team and let's finally head into battle and take on Guild Boss 1. We are definitely going to get over 60k. Okay, just finished gearing the rest of the team. Laurel just needs an artifact. I honestly don't care what. She gets placed and she gets picked up for this content. You can see here, we got fresh gear plans for everybody. For some very good gear in here. Let's get a great score. If you're live on Twitch, let me know what you predict the score will be. I'll tell you my number right now. I think we're going to get 64,000. That's my goal. That's my guess, I should say. Let's just hop right in. We don't need a play test. I'll walk you through it. This isn't going to be a Go Boss 1 guide. It's more about Wukong, but I'll still talk you through everything that's happening. All right, first things first, we are, just because it's a Wukong guide, I'm going to place him here in the Laurel spot. If you don't know what I mean by Laurel spot, this is like the one melee spot that gets covered by the directly adjacent tiles in Laurel range. That being said, I think most people should put like Twyla there, something like that, or maybe if you run Lust. Wukong's going to spam a ton, but hey, doesn't matter. For now, we can do it like that. Let's restart so we're perfectly fresh and quick. I want to highlight him, so I want his damage to be absolutely through the roof. So let's go Wukong there, then let's get Laurel. You can see for spawns, he'll have 1, 2, 3. We do need to quickly get our other Nightmare units down though. So there goes Twyla, there goes Arrogance. Let's get some more Invig. Here we've got Dolores. Let's see where that landed actually. It landed on Arrogance, it looks like. So we'll get Torador's and Invig. That will go on Twyla. Now you can see Arrogance has Invig and Twyla. Let's get Hex placed over here, and we shall get Hollow. And then finally we'll get Silas. Unfortunately, no Invig for that guy. You can see Yovar is not placed. Yovar will be our last cycle unit, and we're kind of off to the races. With Wukong, his ult comes up so fast, in my opinion, it's not worth waiting. And same thing for Twyla, and quite frankly, same thing for Hex. It's not worth waiting for Dolores. For Silas, we will wait. See, he's starting to get the monkeys out. He's already got 2. He can take advantage of this square and this square over here, even though those are not like placeable spots. Those are spawn points for summons, so maybe you've noticed that with your Wailing Skull. Kind of a cool thing. So we got that spot, and then pretty comfortably we know he can probably snag those 2 spots. We should be fine. Maybe he snags this one. It really doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure his monkeys are not benefiting from being in inspiration range of Dolores. I think they're just directly scaling off of him. That's actually something I guess we could test. I don't know about that. Silas, I will wait though, as I said. So we'll basically go Hollow. Then once Dolores is up in like the mid 90s, that's when I'll trigger Silas. He takes a second on a delay. Dolores is right away. Now everyone's going. We can quickly pick up with Laurel, go with Sun Wukong again, and then in the Laurel spot, we will place Yovar. I'm gonna take this moment now that we're kind of off to the races to get myself a little smaller and put myself out of the way of the quick cast. Let's see, some predictions from the chat: 65, 66, 66, 73, 66, 64.2, 61, 72, 70, 60, 62.7, 65.5, 61 for Roger Maris, says Boomer Hulk. We'll see who wins. I'll shout out the winner here in the guide. So another reason to watch me live. Let's just spam right away with Yovar. See, the number's looking really big. Like we're above 5K already before the shield comes up. Kind of what we're looking for. The goal to know how big the number is going to be, I always use the marker here on the countdown at 3 minutes 30 seconds. If you want to know just for your own stuff, usually 12.5K is what I look for to say, hey, this comp can probably get 50K. I'm looking for a big number here. I'd love to see 15K plus, which I think we will see. We're missing some like really baller awakenings, for lack of a better way of putting it. There's Wukong again. You can see he comes up so fast, and that's not just the Laurel cycling. He's already ready to go again. Twice in that Dolores ult. When these guys drop, and in Guild Boss content, Guild Boss 1 and 2, those clones get killed a lot. They expire a lot. He can really, really, really cycle through. Pretty crazy. I'll wait for Silas to do Dolores. This is, if it was A3 Twyla, I'd use her now, but it's not, so we'll wait. A3 because then she gets an extra 5 seconds. Let's get another Yovar off, and let's go with Hex. That lined up pretty good. So you can see, numbers big. Let's 2x this. Here comes Wukong. We'll even get one more with Yovar. Yovar's ult comes like crazy as well. And how are we looking right now? Huge number. Huge, huge number. So yeah, I said we're missing some of the sexy awakenings, but we still have awakenings on basically all these guys. Actually, we do on some level awakenings on all of them, I think except for Yovar and Sun Wukong. And you can see at 330, we're already over 18K. I'm telling you, this Sun Wukong number, just maybe write it in the comments if you're watching in the future. Try to imagine how much you think he's going to do at A0. Unless you've used him a bunch already, I think it's going to blow your mind. He's very good. He's very, very good. Let's get ready to pick up Yovar in a second. I'll wait a bit because we need to wait for Dolores and Wukong to be ready anyway. So maybe once Dolores is in like the mid 50s here. All right, up goes Yovar. Let's place. Let's get Laurel down. I'm not going to ult with Sun Wukong, obviously, until Dolores is ready. And you can see we ended up summoning there. So 1, 2, 3 monkeys. They all stay pretty low health. They take more damage. They get killed. We respawn. The exclusive artifact is working perfectly. Let's ult. Let's ult. Let's wait for Hollow. And we'll even wait for Twyla because she'll get the damage boost from Laurel. As long as Laurel's not ulting, we get this nice damage boost, you can see. Kind of a loss here. Already 26 past 50% for Silas, but we'll take it. Pick him up. Let's go. Might as well get Torador down there. Now we're looking for like 25k would be great at the shield. I think we'll have at least that. Let's get another Sun Wukong out. You can see these bursts of damage. Try to look at those numbers. They happen so fast, but it's so much. It's really, really, really good. Let's wait. Is this our moment? Yeah, let's just go right at it with Dolores. Why not? Yeah, we're already over 26k coming up on the next shield. Really good. I could have, you know, I probably should have just lined up Dolores and Sun Wukong really to max it, but no reason not to keep recycling, I think. There's Twyla. Yeah, and as that shield breaks, we're already coming up on 29k here. Poor lineup here between Dolores and Silas, but hey, S happens. There's Sun Wukong again. Should we wait for Dolores? Probably we should. He comes back so fast anyway. No reason not to get that boost. For Hex, I'm not waiting for Sun Wukong, but for Hex, I will wait for the Laurel placement for that damage boost. Let's already pick up Torador. It's not like he's doing anything. So now Hex will get that Laurel boost. We'll wait for Hollow too. You can see Hex has got that 20%. Here comes Hollow, and then the second Hollow goes, I'm going to pick everybody up, pick Laurel up. Let's get Yovar down and ready. So if you have a tight run, this is the time maybe you start saving ults for the third shield. We obviously have so much damage here. We're looking for something much higher. We don't care. So we're not going to do that, but let's go for a blast with Sun Wukong. Let's go for Yovar. Silas is lining up really poorly again. We probably will sit to line him up. Twyla, you want ulting as soon as she comes up every time to start stacking her passive. We'll wait for Silas. Let's wait. That lined up. Nice. There we go. Perfect. Throw this thing on 2x because all we got to do right now is hammer ults. We got a little Yovar for the road. There is a little Sun Wukong. We're about to come up on 50k already, right around the third shield. This is one time where you're like, maybe this comp would be even spicier with Volca. We'll have to see. I'll give you an evaluation for Soldier Boy, how much damage Arrogance is doing. Because you kind of wish if we had Volca, Laurel would be coming back around already. So a little tighter on the cycle. Here comes the shield. We might as well hold Yovar to line. This is going to be his last one, so we might as well line him up with Laurel. Twyla can go. Now let's go down the line. There's a burst from Sung Woo. There is the burst from Yovar. Let's get ready to pick up Yovar in 1 second. Throw this thing on 1x. We're going to line up these ults from the ult from Silas with Laurel. There it is. Get ready with Silas. There he goes. I now pick up. Get Torador down. Blast with SWK. And you can see we just passed 60. So my 64 guess was bad. We are going to break 70k. So I don't know who guessed 70k before. Shout out to Zavik. Shout out to who else we got. Yeah, I think Zavik is the one I'm seeing with 70k plus. If anyone else had an OG 70k plus, let me know. Buggy says he's been saying 73. Well, let's see how high we can push this. You can see there's going to be no more cycling basically with 53 seconds left and 48, 45 down there. Let's trigger. We're just spamming at this point. Let's go. We'll shoot, whatever. I'm going to actually take that off because I would have rather lined up Dolores slightly better. Actually, I wouldn't. It doesn't. Yeah, no, I would have. Because like she's only going to get the one more anyway. Maybe a little bit at the end with Laurel. We'll keep it on manual. Here comes 70k. Looks like about 74 is what's coming. Sun Wukong, this probably is his last ult, so we're going to wait for Dolores. You see, I should have lined it up. I could have lined it up perfect. There we go. Boom. Now we can definitely throw on autos. Throw it on 1x here just for a last little blast. It's not like Torador is doing anything. Pick that guy up. Get ready. Escape trick. Get Laurel up as quickly as possible. We got auto ults for a reason. Clicking and clacking. Let's go. Last little burst. 75k. Let's get it. Boom. Skadoosh. We improved. Already a good comp, right? 57k, almost 58k. We got that guy to 75.3. In your heart of hearts, guess what you think the Sun Wukong damage is. Spoiler alert, it's a freaking ton. Almost as much as Hex with his exclusive. A1 Hex with his exclusive, we're talking Sun Wukong A0 with a base promo exclusive. What more do you really need to know? Hex with his exclusive, probably the best guy we've got in the game right now. and this is right on par. A0, so people that were not entertained. He's doing better than A1 Twyla, A2 Silas, A1 Arrogance. This guy is unbelievable. I do wish we hit 150K, or 150 million, I should say. But hey, completely spiced out. He's truly an incredible hero. He is at Hex level, right? That is where he is. And once you get that A3 and A5, he's better than Hex on a lot of comps. And this A0, he's already there. A1 Hex with the exclusive, that's basically what Sun Wukong is giving you. Those guys were both in lower range. They were both cycled nicely in very comparable, very high-end gear. And it was a thing of beauty. It's Guild Boss 2 time. Let's go gear him. All right, this is going to be very fun because we're about to do his Guild Boss 2, and he has, as you see, kind of a goated account, A3 Praetus, A1 Ingrid, all the heroes you could dream of, but somehow he's missing Fasti. And Fasti is, if you didn't know, his Sand Aegis passive gives 25% permanent to all heroes in range AoE damage reduction, and it is the key to like every top run. So this is gonna be a lot more fun than I thought it was. I thought we were just gonna destroy this thing, but you won't find a single comp without Fasti, basically. Fasti, take my word for it. Everyone uses Fasti, and there's a reason. He is the key support. Him and Eloin like unlock this whole thing. We're still gonna cook. Oh my God, they just undid my team because I left the screen for 1 second. Let me put that back. All right, there we go. I locked in the team. This should be pretty fun because this was going to be a run probably 200K plus. We've got good gear, as you saw, and excellent heroes. And nowadays, I really know what I'm doing in Semra. However, no Fasti. I think the new goal, can we get 120K without Fasti? We'll see once we begin the run. But before we can begin the run, we must gear Sun Wukong. So I obviously like my build a lot. However, as nice as 19.8K attack is, with a guy with almost 6,500 base attack, even at A0. We're looking for something a little spicier for Guild Boss 2. So let's do exactly that. We obviously really liked this attack bonus piece. We can keep one of these, but not both. Obviously, this is the one I want to keep because it's not a ton of flat attack, but it's a chunk. It really is, and it's got a great attack bonus roll. This is the piece I'm looking to upgrade. Like I said, the Raging is nice, but we don't totally need it. Let's go for attack bonus main stat here. This was like the real, oh, you know what? This was the real trouble thing that he doesn't have it on the amulet. So actually, we're going to have to keep this one. This is what's going to have to take the L, and we're going to snag this piece from Twyla. That's going to be a problem for us. We're very limited on amulets just randomly on this account. I think the rest should already be okay. You can see we're kind of through the roof on crit rate, so that does open the door that maybe we could drop a little crit somewhere. Maybe something like this on one of these pieces. Let's take a couple peeks. Certainly there are options. Let's maybe check down below. If we wanted to break up the set, we really do have options. I guess the final thing we could do, because I mean, 20% extra crit rate is complete overkill. Let's go over here, go for crit damage. Does he at least have a soulbound that maybe is missing crit rate, but is pretty spicy? No, he doesn't. Give me 1 second. I'm going to figure this build out. Okay, we're going to pivot to Warlord, which is really nice anyway, because we get a bigger attack boost. That Wicked Vengeance gear will go on Twyla or something. You can see I took this chest piece from Twyla. That's really darn good. Let's go over here. Do we have a nice little thing with these substats on a weapon? Unfortunately, we don't. Kind of crazy. What do we got over here? Attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage. And here we got attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage. Do we have to go overkill? It feels so inefficient. Give me 1 more second. All right, we can't really avoid the overkill. We can take this piece that I had on Arrogance and throw it over. You can see it shoots the attack up to the moon, nearly pushing it to 23K, and that is not counting artifact. We take a hit in the attack speed department, a touch on crit, obviously some on crit damage, and a touch on crit rate as well, but we were at such overkill. This gives me a touch of peace of mind. That's only 16.5%. And you can see the attack is through the roof, over 24K, including the artifact. That is going to be a lovely, lovely build. I'll head in here and save it for him. If you notice, I'm doing D for Drake. We will do S for Semra. So here we go. SWK, Sun Wukong. That is our first build. Pretty dang nice. These are his stats without artifact. 331% crit damage, almost 23K attack. Remember, that's over 24 with the exclusive. Flat 300 attack speed, which I'm not in love with, but it's good. And that nice little bit of rage regen. I'm going to gear the rest of the team, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, here we go with some nice, spicy Guild Boss 2 action, Semra Apocalypse 2. One thing I want to point out, I'm not going to show you everyone's gear. It's very good gear again. I know what I'm doing, I promise. But I was thinking Twyla was A1. She's actually A0, so this is such a nice head-to-head. Twyla, for anything normal with no awakenings, she is the best hero in the game. besides like a Praetus, the best normal hero in the game for Guild Boss 2. She has the best DPS. At A0, she's the queen, right? We've got Sun Wukong. This is going to be a great head-to-head. So I want to show you, Twyla's in a spiced-up build. She's in a lot of the gear Sun Wukong was in before. She's got that nice Wicked Vengeance on the left. We actually just swapped her and Sun Wukong over there. You can see 19.7, so lighter on the attack, but she does shred through a ton of defense. Exactly a 1.4 second interval. Just a hair under 400% crit damage. She's capped. No rage regen. To quickly refresh your memory, Sun Wukong, very good gear as well. Kind of spicy. Not the same level of crit damage, but more attack. A little bit slower. So his attack interval I'll show you in a second, I believe is 1.6. Comes in at 1.6 as opposed to 1.4. We'll see how that goes. And he does have the 22% rage regen. He is in a base promo exclusive, and she is in a maxed out Scarlet Hunt. This will be pretty fun. We've got some predictions in the chat. Everything between 108,000 and I'm seeing 163K. 163K with Aelin would blow my mind. I do have a special strategy in mind, which I'll talk you through as we do it. But for now, let's head into battle and let me show you how you should do your placements if you run a comp like this with Monkey Boy himself, Sun Wukong. So definitively for a comp like this, where we're not gonna have any open squares over here, you gotta put him in this spot, pointed to the left. This way you'll see he'll summon the two guys here, and at least he has one more spot down here. Now that monkey won't be able to reach, but without any of these other spots to his right usable, because that's where allied units are going, he's not going to be able to place 3 monkeys that can hit. So the solution is we get 1 monkey here, and that monkey can keep expiring and dying, and that's going to help him build a lot of rage. So it is good, and you do want to point him left. If he was pointing up, that wouldn't be possible. So place him there, point him left. Something I've learned over the past few days. Then we'll get Constance down. Kagiri will go here. Aelin, no Pharisee on this account. Aelin can go, excuse me. Aelin will have to go. I'm just realizing Torber won't be in Aelin range. Uh-oh. Okay, I was being pretty dumb, and I did those placements and deploys as if we had Pharisee coverage, and Aelin does have a huge range, but she's in the middle of it, so that kind of throws things off. So we have to do something pretty darn different. You can kind of see the start of it above. It's pretty unique. I've never done this. Shout out to Dr. Matt, who suggested the general idea of placing Aelin in the bottom. Essentially what we're going to do, Sun Wukong's going to go all the way over here. So that will make sense in a second. Let's get our other placements done first. So here goes Twyla. Now we're going to place Constance all the way down here. Kind of weird, right? Then here we're going to place Kagiri. Here we're going to place Carnelian. We're doing sideway coverage. And now here we get Sun Wukong. So you'll see he'll summon here, here, and here. That's very much the plan. If he summons here, fine, it's still covered. So there'll be the 1 sacrifice spot and these 2. If you do Pharisee, you would have put Pharisee over here, the whole thing, or excuse me, over here, the whole thing would have worked. Here or here, depends on how you do it. And you still need to focus Sun Wukong to the left, but for this strategy, we're doing it as such. Aelin now is going to go down here. That was the suggestion from Dr. Matt. We're going to place Praetus right up here, so he's still in Constance range. He's a little exposed, but that's what Carnelian's for. And then finally, we got Eloin here. The last 2 that don't get Invig, we got our very, very tanky boy Alistair, and now Torador. Everyone is covered, as you can see, by this is the monkey. I got worried for a second, but that's just a sage clone. Don't worry. Everyone's covered by Miss Aelin. Everyone is covered by Eloin. Everyone is covered by Carnelian. All key DPS are covered by Constance. Like I said, if I said Alistair, all his DPS is coming from Radiant Erosion. Does not matter. We are off to the races. So I'll show you the bursts in between these first 3 times, just so you can get a sense of the kind of damage we are looking at. But the key thing that's going on here, guys, is because I don't have Pharisee, the way we're going to approach this is we're going to look for big bouts of damage in his vulnerable state between each phase, from Death Saw to Aegis, Aegis to Poison, Poison back to Death Saw for the first half of the fight. However, to set ourselves up for success, we want some head starts in the harder cycles later on when the phases are getting more and more difficult as he stacks that passive, that hand that's going to develop over here. So then we're not going to do any bursts in between. We're going to do the bursts at the start of each phase to give us a damage head start and try to, not be as vulnerable since we don't have that Pharisee coverage. Aelin is doing 15% mitigation. Pharisee would have been doing 25%. We're going to make it work though. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this first cycle, each one of the first 3 phases, get a sense of the damage. We'll set some benchmarks. Then we'll probably check in like that 70 to 80K range and finish off the fight and see how we did. Let's get to it. Beginning now, I'm kind of saving all the ults. We got a quick Sun Wukong in because why not? Let's use the praise button here just to get a couple stuns. We'll spam Twyla. So we'll miss out a little bit of damage here, but it's going to be worth it because we're building her passive faster. kind of nice. There's no good place, I'll say, with this comp to place our Wood Elf, so we kind of just have to take that L, but you can see we do have our 3 monkey clones, which is great. As soon as Twyla's back, we ult with her. We're just waiting, we're holding, we're OP for this, it doesn't matter. We'll get a little stun with Wukong here, why not? Again, wasting a little in between damage, but we can live with it. That's not gonna be our make or break. Let's throw this thing on 1x, let's go down the line, as we like to do. No Kagiri ult there as well. So we're missing out on a bit of damage. First time I did this, we had, I think it was 5k. We didn't get the ults lining up here. 5k is a good benchmark, so we know the damage is there. Looks like we're coming in closer to 4.5, but we'll be fine. Get a little burst there to start from Sun Wukong. We're just letting it all set up, building our ults, passives, things like that with heroes like Twyla. We're looking for that really nice head-to-head comparison between Twyla and Sun Wukong. I kind of wasted an element ult there that I didn't have to, so let's ease off the damage so she can come back around. We'll be okay. And yeah, when you have a good team, when you're looking to make like a 120k run, there's nothing too interesting at the beginning of these fights. I really just want to show you guys the setup and the placements. Also, I don't think I did, but you can see Invig on Paredes, Invig on Twyla, Invig on Sun Wukong, Invig on Kagiri. That worked out really nice. Let's see what kind of burst we can get in here. I'll even save Twyla. We'll try to make it perfect. Get a little heal from Aelin just to make sure nothing could ever go wrong. Once we get under 10k, I always do Alistair first because it takes him an eternity to start ulting. Then we do Paredes, go down the line. Unfortunately, no Kagiri again. It's hard to line up on these earlier moments. Once he's down at 0%, we go Sun Wukong and then Paredes button. Looking for a big number here. We're going to pass 10k. That's nice. Pretty fine. Let's get a nice little cleanse going with Eloin. And we'll see where we're at heading into the start of the second cycle. Nice little cleanse. You'll see the monkeys don't get cleansed. Again, it's not the end of the world. The damage is nice from them, but also them dying means more ults later on from Sun Wukong, which we, of course, love. Finish this out pretty quick. Hopefully we can line up a Kagiri right now. We can. Okay. Let's really quickly 1x. Kagiri, let's go down the line. We're going to do this damage so fast you won't believe it. We will save Sun Wukong still, because how could we not? We're going to get that triple Paredes button, swell. Down these guys should go. We'll even go for a Karn ult. They do. Boom. Let's get that triple button with Paredes. Should be, I'm hoping, maybe 16k. That'd be a good benchmark. The damage is looking really good. If you're over 15k after that first cycle, you definitely have the damage potential for 120. So then it comes, do we have the damage mitigation and support capabilities? Let's find out, speed this thing up, and we'll check back again in that like 70 to 80k range and see how we finish off this battle. See you in a second. All right, so we're going to pick it up here. I know I said 70 to 80, but I thought this was a nice smooth transition because we didn't have too much trouble yet. This is the end of the 4th cycle. So you can see he's got 3 buffs, starts out with 0. We're up to 3 now. It's definitely picking up. The damage is still phenomenal. Let's see if we can start getting those head starts. I started heading into this last poison phase. I'll show it to you right now. Let me go back and focus though, because this is getting kind of spicy. He's kind of slapping us around, but that's what Carnelian's for. Took it like a champ. However, we did just get hit really hard with Kagiri. He didn't shake that poison. There's always the annoying poison RNG with Kagiri if he randomly leaves Eloin's range, so that's going to throw everything off. But we'll still, he should be back by Aegis. We actually got to get this kill like right now. Let's make sure we make it. Nope, Kagiri is toast. I hate that. I really do. Let's see if we can power through, because I'm not doing this again, baby. Let's wait. We get poisoned right before he dies. Look at that. Terrible, but we gotta keep going. Good news is Kagiri's dead, so we got this Wood Elf spot. Really nice. That's the one positive. It also was the first death, as you can see, only 70 seconds. The additional plus 10, which means we've got a ton of time to loop back around. So the head goes up once, the head goes up twice. That's our indicator to start firing off now, because we want a huge head start at the start of this next thing. That's what I was talking about before. Wait till that number comes up. Boom goes Sun Wukong, boom goes triple Paredes button. You can see we got a nice head start heading in. Let's get that cleanse going. Everyone's back to normal. Perfect. I'm going to show you the good Carnelian timings as well, and I'm also going to talk you through how the Sun Wukong ult works in terms of the stun, and you'll see it's just the singular stun. And then because he's A0, there's a ton of RNG, whether we're going to hit that golden cudgel and get the extra stuns. That's why you kind of need extra stunning. Carnelian does save the day, so it's not as important, but if you didn't run a Carnelian comp, we're getting extra stuns from the Praetus button, we're getting extra stuns from Torador, but him alone is certainly not enough as it stands right now with the current version of his ultimate. So here it comes. I'll do it for you right now. Let's ult. You can see it just went down once, and the second time, that's it. Nothing too spicy. We're also getting some random stuns for Torador. Certainly not 18 times, that's for sure. If you don't know, the Praetus button, you need at least 2 for it to count as a stun. 1 charge doesn't work, so let's get 2. That should be 2 stuns. Buys us a little time. I'm also just waiting right now for Constance to come around to line up our damage. And let me show you the best Carnelian timing. Shout out to Fabu. This is who I learned it from, just watching him. Click it. You can even 2x it right when it starts coming up. Not dragging on the thing, but coming up. Right there, that's when you click. For me, that always works the best. Again, shout out to Fabu. He's the best in the game at this. He has the #1 score in the world on the global leaderboard, so maybe trust him on that. You don't have to trust me, trust him. All right, let's get an element ult here to save with some heals. Now we can get Kagiri back in the mix. Hopefully we don't have any more issues. We're coming up on 100K. We already beat his top score. Remember, that was like 87, 88. Not ready yet with Sun Wukong. Not ready yet with double Praise button. We were ready with Torador. Torador does get more stuns when he ults, so I should have been faster on that. There is double Praise button. That'll buy us time. Here comes the Sun Wukong. So we should be at 4 or 5. Again, it's not the end of the world because we do have Carnelian, but I want to show you how to do this proper. Tons of damage. You can see that head starts paying off. Let's do that Carnelian trick again. He scrapes along the ground. Right as he picks up, that's when he clicker. Ooh, Kagiri slightly late, unfortunately. I didn't get that hit. Let's wait. Damage looks good, though. We should be good. I think I'll hold here. We'll get a stun from Sun Wukong, but aside from that, I think we're good. The little extra damage helped, too. So we miss on that damage there. Again, let's watch it. Head up once. Head up twice. Get ready for the 3rd time. No Constance, unfortunately. I kind of blew that as well. But we can go down the line. We do want that damage right at the beginning. Hopefully Constance and Kagiri line up at least. Doesn't look like they will. She's taking what can only be described as forever. They do not. We can get her there, though. Tough lineup, but we do have a ton of damage, so I'm not so worried about this Aegis stage. I'm very much most worried about the upcoming Poison stage. That's what I think could ruin us, especially if we get that bad Kagiri RNG yet again. We're looking to have 50% or less at the 130 mark. That's a good thing. 130 is halfway through the round. 50% is halfway through the health bar, obviously. Let's hold these guys and wait for Constance, so we're really in control. We're at a good pace right now, already under 60K, 2 minutes. We will use Kagiri here because his boost lineup will still go. Let's go, let's go. Double Praetus button. Let's get Torador in the mix. Why not? This, after the first Aegis, he does 2 Aegis every time he does a big blast, either the lasers or the slam in between. That's when you want to use Carnelian. Right as soon as he starts to move, boom. We're still in pretty good shape. The mitigation's working. We are going to break 120K unless I blow this next thing, so let's not blow it. That'd be a good idea. Completely in control of the damage right now. Let's go for a heal there. I don't think I'm gonna use Constance. Let's go for a quick Sun Wukong blast. I'm gonna save that triple Praetus, but we'll ult with him at least. I actually probably didn't need to ult with Praetus. Let's get that save with Carnelian. Slightly late, but we still got it. Praetus is coming back around super fast. Let's throw this thing on. Actually, we can throw it on 2x because we don't care about the in-between. So let me show you again so you can really learn what we're trying to do here. Wow, he just gets that Earth Shatter off. No one better die. Okay, good. He's down. 1, 2. When he comes down again, gets ready for 3. I'm talking when he brings his head up. We go down our line. Get that triple Praetus button. We're off to races. We make it through this, we get our big number, right? I'm not going to mess around with Kagiri. It's not worth the RNG getting messed up. The ult we can control. The talent we can't. As soon as he starts to move, we'll go for some Eloin. There we go. All right, Kagiri's in the clear Geary. Apologies. The clear Geary. Might as well get a Sun Wukong pop. We get blasted. No one died. Beautiful. Here comes 120K for the first time ever on Soldier Boy's account. What a transformation. I think it was worth the wait. We'll let him go over. Then we use Aelin. Let's go down the line here with a ton of damage. We just need to make it through this. We don't have to get fancy. We're not looking for special damage. We're just looking for our beautiful thing. As soon as he starts with the laser, we can already queue up Carnelian. Boom and boom. Perfect timing on Kagiri for once from me. You mess him up so often. Let's get this going with Elwyn. Cleanse. All right, Kagiri is cleansed. Yeah, I can't see. He is. Okay, looking okay. And we made it, 121. Now I'm just going to focus in and try to put up a big old number. Just getting a ton of damage right now. Again, I'm not trying to be cute with it. Ooh, a little late on Carnelian. Looks like we didn't need any saves, though. Off to the races, baby. 1, 2. Even though you won, don't forget to cleanse with Element after the fact if it happens at that moment of in between. Just going to wait for Constance now and line everything up perfect. Praise doesn't matter because we spam him. Constance does. Obviously, we're not going to use Torador. We will use Sun Wukong because we need that damage bad. We'll use that double praise button as well. There comes Kagiri. Ooh, I forgot Twyla. Here's Alistair. Let's get Torador going. No double praise for us, so we need some lucky RNG here. We do get a little bit of control there with the manual ult on Sun Wukong. So it's on 1x. See if we can pull that praise button off just in time. We just missed it. Wow, you see the lightning coming. Just missed it. We need really good timing here on Carnelian. Throw us on 2x. Super slow-mo, but 2x is how I do it. As soon as he comes up, boom. That's the Fabu method. He doesn't even know I call it that. I hope he watches this video. If you're watching Fabu, let me know in the comments. Trigger. Hold. This is intense. Pretty crazy we did it without Faircy. I mean, obviously we have amazing stuff as well besides him. Let's get that double. Boom. Remember, the single does not stun. We're going to save Torador for the next go around if we need it. Get ready with Carnelian. As soon as it picks up. Whoop. Looking pretty good. I'm curious about the next poison round at this point. All right, I think we can coast now. Ooh, I should do Torador just to be safe. But we're pretty good with this. This is a very Rage Region heavy Carnelian build, obviously. We're in good shape. Oh, a little late. That should be enough, though. Ult with Elwyn just to be safe. Oh, we got the kill. Beautiful. Up once. Up twice. Here comes number 3. Boom, 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 boom. Slappers. We'll wait for that triple. With Praetus. This is the time where Praetus really shines. The defense is getting really high. Let's ignore it all with the true damage. Here comes Kagiri. Does he get that? Does he get that lineup? He might have just gotten it with Constance. It's hard to tell. Remember, it's in between the two Aegises when he places the shield down. That's when we use Carnelian, so don't forget. I'm also just kind of reminding myself. As soon as he starts to move, clicker. A little early on Twyla, but honestly, it doesn't matter. We just got to plow through this thing. Damage looks phenomenal. And you can see Sun Wukong is right there with Twyla, neck and neck. Praise is taking the lead, but this is A0 Twyla, so they're neck and neck. Twyla's the best A0 non-lord hero in the game for this, and they're neck and neck. I mean, what more can you say? And Twyla certainly does not have all the extra functionality with the clones, taking up extra space, the stuns. She doesn't have that bonus stuff like Sun Wukong. I love Twyla, don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm king of Twyla. I've pulled her 7 times. I love her, but yeah, pretty spicy. How are we doing on time? We're looking good. I want to line this up with Constance and not mess anything up. Yeah, triple pray. Praise is a cheat code. It's insane how good he is. He really is the best here in the game. Having him and Eloin, it's like it's gonna be hard not to beat the game. But Sun Wukong putting up a big old number, neck and neck. A little late on Carnelian. We made it though. It's just turned to long run. We might have to skip around a little bit. I can coast to the end here. We're sub 10%. That's pretty nice. You can see Kagiri is completely broken. at undoing every mechanic of the Aegis mode. Those things, he just automatically takes them off every 10 seconds whenever he gets in those talent triggers. It's crazy. All right, 1, 2, get ready. 1x this. Wait, one more second. All right, go, 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 go. Get that triple. This is where it's gonna get hairy, folks. This is where it's gonna get hairy. I'm gonna go for a slight. Let's see, can we go? No, I can't. I take it back. I take it back. I was gonna get a little aggressive with Kagiri. That obviously is a bad idea. We got that cleanse. We're cooking. We're cooking. You can see every time these guys die, Sun Wukong's just like ready to go again. We're getting slapped now. We are getting lit up in a major way. As soon as he passes over, that's when I'm triggering Aelin. As soon as he comes down there, trigger Carnelian. We had a burst. Could have gone Kagiri there. That was a mistake. We're good on damage, it seems. And somehow we're good on healing. It really did not have to go Tordor there, because I should honestly be thinking ahead to the next round. We're passing 150 here. I'm gonna wait for Constance. Aelin is behind. Aelin takes a little too long to come around. She is full skill ups, guys, and she literally does take this long. Let's make sure we're not late with Carnelian. Boom. Keep in mind, Carnelian's got that big ass delay. No other way to put it. Carry with Eloin. I cannot believe we're staying alive here. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me. We're gonna save all this stuff because we're cooking. Oh, Kagiri, I thought he was about to slam. Look at that, man. Twilight and Sun Wukong. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We'll see how far we can take this. We're probably gonna skip ahead to the end, starting at this point, but what a run. Oh my God, Constance and trigger. Flip. That's a triple Praetus button. Let's get ready with Carnelian. Double bun. Could hit Praise first for some damage. Damage is good though. The damage is excellent, as I thought it would be from the beginning. And somehow the support capability is right there. So I guess Pharisee is a little less required for 120k if you've got some other god units. Oh, no, down goes Aelin, just as I say it. Oh, I was delayed on my Carnelian, I missed it. Can we salvage? Can we salvage? Oh, right when I went, oh, wow, that was all on me. But pretty huge numbers still. It had to end. I couldn't film this forever. But we were heading for something huge. We really were. Let's get some hits. Is there any way we can make it out of this? No, there's no way. We can't salvage. Kagiri will stay alive, and that's it, basically. Somehow we need to get this damage. We can't. Completely blew that. But it was a great run. I got to say, it's hard to narrate while we go. But Kagiri will survive again. If it was A5 Twyla, she would survive too, because Kagiri just parries that. Constance refuses to die. Here comes Aelin. And they all get wiped. All right. Heck of a run, if I do say so myself. We will take it. We'll call it right there. I had to keep the focus up, but that's a big ass number. 175k. You love to see it. 175k without Pharisee, and could have kept going, but your boy got distracted. We'll absolutely save that for him. What a transformation, right? But let's do the math. We more than doubled. He's at 87, so that would have been 174. So basically exactly doubled. Is that math right? It is. 87, yeah, it's 174. We doubled this. We brought him from 57 to, what was it, 75k for Guild Boss 1. Quite the glow up. Pretty dang sweet, and you can see he's neck and neck with Twyla at A0. Anyone who said he wasn't good at A0 is an idiot, and I removed those quotes. You're a dumbass. This guy's freaking unbelievable. I know this is a long video, but what a guide. A huge thank you to R-Type for taking the time to edit this thing. You're the man. You're a huge part of the channel, and thank you so much. Go check out his channel as well. Let's finish with that beautiful bastard. Oh my God, Mr. Sun Wukong, and there he is in the signature skin. I can't imagine anyone is not convinced by this. The guy is phenomenal. I hope you liked this Guild Boss deep dive guide. If you did, share with your mother, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.
Shout out to R-Type, who's going to edit this video. What a hero. I said your name, yes. Poor R-Type. He tells me he likes to help. He says he likes to edit the videos. If he ever doesn't want to do it, he can always stop. Every single time I ask him for something, I say, hey, please feel free to say no. I said, you came into me saying, thank you, R-Type, for editing this video. That's what you heard me say. You can put all this at the end of the video, I guess. The chat, every single time do I say, hey, do you have free time today? And please, no worries if not, right? I say that every time. It's probably annoying to you because I say it every time. Bringing the full stack cap of the undaunted might from 20. All right, we got to cut this R-Type. I'm filming. What's up? I'm filming, like live filming. That can be the blooper.